It starts with the product. You got to be very clear about what a product can or cannot offer. I think both the gentlemen from AXA as well as Ford were really saying that, and that's the home truth. You can't promise what your product is not. So the starting point is you must have a product that delivers. Then you must have a pretty good idea of what your core proposition is, and there must be some hint of differentiation in that which allows a person to sort of relate to that as a differentiated brand. Then you've got to really get into this thing of, once you've got that, how do you always evolve that conversation with the consumer in the years to come, keeping the core constant. And in doing that, I think what's coming out is increasingly in this attention deficit environment that we're living in, just bombarding them with ad messages will not be enough. You've got to do advertising, plus you've got to do a little bit more, whether it is, and that is that larger engagement piece. And you've got to do it in such a way that actually people even start becoming advocates of your brand and start talking about your brand. So there's a certain bunch of stuff that you can do there. End of day, the game is all about trying to make it easier, and that was what Robin was also saying, make it easier for a consumer to make a brand choice. So when you walk into a store, you know this brand stands for this particular thing, and if that resonates with what you want, you'll just pick it up. Look, India is a growth market. The first half has grown amazingly well. I'm talking the calendar year. Second half has been slightly slower, but still a hugely high growth market, and much more than any of the other developed markets, so to speak. In terms of media trends, in terms of the usage of mediums, I think TV remains a pretty popular medium, and it's doing very well, it's very robust. Print has some soul searching to do because they flip-flop a little bit this way, that way. Magazines is in trouble, and digital, of course, is doing very well. Now, when I say very well, it's doing maybe double the overall growth. So they're about 15%, they'll be 30. But of course, the people who are digital sort of evangelists, they believe that is way too less. It should be maybe going 100% according to them, seeing the potential. But so that's pretty much how the money is being spent. Now, I also feel that if you move to integrated marketing, as distinct from multimedia marketing, and that, by that I mean instead of you making silo TV, print, radio, outdoor, whatever, internet plans, if you actually have an integrated plan which is media agnostic, and then it's all about reaching your consumers so many times, using the power of the medium so many times, you'll actually have a pretty interesting re-optimization of how you use media. And at that point in time, no medium is going to have it bad. Everyone has an ability to actually grow. And that's the paradoxical part of it. A magazine, which is according to me otherwise a pretty dead medium right now, it's not hardly growing, despite it being so tiny, can according to me grow pretty well if you can do integrated planning. Likewise newspapers, likewise digital. According to me, even TV will be able to get it, but in TV the two things is going to happen. Today the growth is only happening because of prices coming down, absolutely, but the inventory going up because of more channels coming in. What's going to happen, I think, in the bargain, if you do all this integrated planning, is the value of each of this inventory is going to go up for each of the channels. So you'll be able to, the rates will go up because there's more value coming out of it, and that's where the growth is going to come from. So I think that's more robust for the market. The only strategy you can employ for this is you got to be proactive in trying to see the client's interest. You got to understand why, what are the compulsions which are affecting, which are forcing them to slow down. To some extent, if you feel that, look, it's like this. If marketing was indeed seen as an investment with short-term returns, people wouldn't cut, right? Because you put money there, you're getting sales. Obviously, if you're fearing sales, some kind of slowdown, you won't do it. The problem is when the short-term effects of marketing are not so clearly evident, and you're not very clear about the medium or long-term effects. That's the time when you stop, under compulsion, viewing marketing as an investment and start viewing it as a cost. So, if I have a compulsion of meeting a budget number, then I have to cut something. So I'll say, chalo, marketing say, I'll take out a little bit. Now, what we need to do, and I think we're doing it to some extent, is get more into return on investment and be in a position to say, listen guys, these are short-term effects, these are the long-term effects. If you cut out, this could be the possible downside you can get. And then of course, it's a question of selling it and actually clients being convinced about that. That is one approach. The second approach is actually re-optimizing the client spend. So you might actually come back and say, if monies are coming down, then let's just sort of try to see how we can rectify the sort of tactics or strategy, and then we might want to take out from somewhere, put somewhere else, redeploy. I think the uncertainty is coming from earlier kind of communication being very centralized, controlled, sequential. The marketer is sending out messages to the consumer, and he expects the consumer to sort of take them. One of the speakers today was also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Coke talked about it, how it changes over the years and all that. Now I think it's much more devolved. There is, rather than one-to-one kind of, or one person communicating to many, it is now reaching a stage where I communicate, and if it's on any kind of thing like a digital medium, then it can suddenly spread out. So you have a whole network. So it's more devolved. It's also more fluid. It's also more instant. There's a need for people to interact. There's a need for people to share. The whole lot of these things which the digital domain has allowed, that has opened up the uncertainty part of it. So it's now you can get feedback on your message that you sent out in totally different ways from what you expected. So the need to, I think that the reason why social is coming out without people really talking social very clearly is, I think there's now increasingly a need to listen to what's happening out there in the environment when you give out a message. And if over time you can start channelizing what's happening out there, what people are talking about it, and take it to a level that you want to, whether it's building a community, whether it's building a positive predisposition to your brand, whether it's even directing them to your sales outlet or your website, those are things that you can then try to take people onto. Those are the ways I think the digital technology has created a certain uncertainty which the analog world did not have, which is from moving from sequential things to a much more devolved one. I thought the Contagious session was very good. I liked what I liked about Will Sansom's. He is the first guy who started with a consumer and marketing and used digital technology almost as a enabler to delivering a very obvious marketing solution. So good, like typically the way everybody talks about digital almost as if it's a new jargon that you have to learn, and whereas what he very simply brought out was it's an enabler, it's a technology. That entire whatever the Tesco example that he showed, it's not as a friction. I mean, my mother, if she's whatever, she comes over the metro and sees a wall with this, she can take a phone, click it, and send something. It's quite simple. Technology doesn't come in the way. So I thought he brought out the entire usability of digital in a very beautiful way, which I thought other people hadn't done. So that was one takeaway. The other reinforcement was what the Coke guy did, which is all about the power of integrated marketing. And when it comes from with a marketing muscle and the inspiration of a Coke, I think it's stuff you already knew, but it reinforces certain home truths for you. I thought the Google session, Nikesh's, was, again, it was stating stuff that a whole lot of us already know, but he was putting a perspective. And for a person to actually, there was an evangelism session for people to tell people that, listen, that today you're consuming your content like this. There's this entire thing about saying that, starting off by saying if you have a camera, we don't have a camera with the reel anymore, right? So, and nobody would have predicted that maybe 10 years back. So I think he brought out the future in a very real manner. So I like those things.